It's been 4 days since I have been back to the office, starting my 3 day week as of this week. Last week, I went in 2 days last week, and then this week, I'm going in 3 days. I want to tell you a story about somebody that I had met today because if I'm going to drive into the office 3 days a week, you best believe I am going to introduce myself to other coworkers that I have no idea what they even do, where they're even from, what their skill set is, or if they're even actually going to talk to me. I walk by some people and I say good morning, and they just look at me. They don't say nothing. I got to drive 45 minutes 3 days a week just to experience that. However, the point of this video is that I did meet somebody cool today. And we're just going to call his name X. I'm just going to call him X. I don't want to use his real name. Not that he's going to see this video, but if somebody from work happens to see this, I don't need any issues. And chances are nobody will probably see it from work anyway. So I met X. I introduced myself rather to X. He sat behind me today. I seen him yesterday, but he came in a little bit later, like around 10 o'clock. Didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, hey, man, how's it going? So today I was like, you know what? I want to introduce myself to him. So I introduced myself as Sam. He said, my name is so and so. We'll just call him X. And he goes, I guess you're from Pennsylvania, right? And I said, yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania. I said, well, aren't you from Pennsylvania? He said, no. And he said, I'm from Maryland. And I'm like, oh, you used to live in Maryland? He said, no, I came from Maryland. I was like, you came from Maryland? And he says, yes. This is the closest office in Pennsylvania. You are the closest office to where I live. And I'm like, wow, that must be quite a commute. And he told me, yes, it is. X was telling me that it takes him over 2 hours one way to get into the office. 100, over 100 miles, he was telling me. So if he leaves at like 3 o'clock, he'll be home like after 5. If he leaves at 5 o'clock, he's home sometime after 8 p.m. Keep in mind, he does this both ways over 2 hours. Unfreaking believable. Just to sit in an office. Now, the shit kicker is he was an assistant vice president not too long ago, was recently promoted to a vice president. Our company's policy is if you're an AVP, you have to go in for a required amount of days, mandatory amount of days. I think it's 4. I only have to go in 3 because my persona tells me I have to go in 3 days a week, so that's what I do. However, he's a VP, and guess how many days he needs to go in? 5. He has to go in 5 days a week. So he was promoted to a vice president and has to go in 5 days a week. So let me tell you, he was just like me. He was hired as a full remote employee. He was under the impression he would never have to go into the office. I'm sure if he knew he was going to have to drive to Pennsylvania from Maryland and from PA back to Maryland, he probably would not have taken this job at all. I can't blame him. Now, he is in IT, so he's in cybersecurity. That's all I'm going to say. And he has nobody in our location to collaborate with, to talk to. Nobody. So we kind of bonded. I'm in loan services. He's in cybersecurity. We are in two different type of fields. Let me tell you, cybersecurity is a whole nother ball game. Loan servicing. Loan services, what I do, I'm a loan servicing officer. Whole nother ball game. We're from two different worlds. He's from this world, I'm from that world, right? And we kind of bonded just for a few minutes. We kind of talk off and on. Really cool guy, down to earth. But can you imagine waking up knowing you have to drive a 2 hour drive, go into an office and sit down with other coworkers that you don't even know? You know how rough that is? You know how rough it is for me driving in 3 days a week. Tomorrow will be actually my first full week of going in 3 days in a row. Again, I was going in once a month. If you didn't know my story, I was going in once a month. That was an arrangement I had with myself and two other managers of the department. And I recently just got an email a few days ago that I had to start going in 4 days a week. However, my persona, my email I got way back says, Sam, you only have to go in 3 days a week. That's what I'm following. If I get another email telling me that I am not going in enough after going in 3 days a week, you best believe I am going to raise hell. Now, I'm not going to go into it too personally, but I didn't get a raise in 2025 at all because once you reach a certain level, you don't get a raise. Now, I'm not saying you don't get one annually. I do get one annually. I did get one for the last 2 years, but this year, if you were an officer or above, you didn't receive a raise. So, an officer, an AVP, a VP, an EVP, an executive vice president, they all didn't get raises. I'm sure the CEO did, by the way. Now, what is going on with today? Why do they want people back in the office, right? I have a feeling it's because everybody else is doing it, right? I'm not going to name the other companies that we're modeling off of because you can probably figure out very easy where I work. And if you know me personally, you may know where I work, and that's okay, right? Do your due diligence if you want to. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. you know, it is what it is. That's what I tell everybody when they say, "Oh God, you went back to the office." Yes, it is what it is. I do fairly well, so it is what it is. Do I agree with it? No. But I am going to make a video about what I would do if I was a CEO of a company overlooking all this. Now, I'm not, but if I was, I have a model that I would do. And I'm doing this just for fun. So if you want to catch that in the next video that I do in a future video, hit the subscribe button because that video is going to be coming hopefully within the next few videos because I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to the office and I see a lot and I'm hearing a lot. One being somebody driving over 2 hours a day to get to work, over 100 plus miles one way. So I have some things that I can overlook and touch base on. Being within business, I'm going to say, you know what? Let's pretend Sam 610 is the CEO of a big company when people are mad that they have to go back to work. What would I do to make employees happy? If you like this video, if you found it entertaining, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments because I want to share my experience. You know what? If I'm going to go in 3 days a week and be miserable inside, I'm not going to be miserable outside because that's the worst thing you can do. Why not benefit from it and have fun while you are doing it? I will catch you in the next one.